Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Bug Rock of the Week. A brand new Caves and Cliffs beta for Minecraft Bedrock Edition has just released. 1.17056 brings a ton of new changes. Two big features that you're probably interested in are, of course, the lava aquifers, which will now generate randomly around the world. They're basically like a lava ocean, lava lake style deal. And then, of course, we now have fully AFK playerless tree farms possible on Bedrock Edition as well. And naturally, there's also just like a ton of other small changes in this beta too. Today's beta is a little bit light on features, however, there are a couple of golden nuggets that I think you'll find interesting, and this is definitely more of a polished beta. Mojang is definitely gearing up to release the 1.17 update. I would not be surprised if we are gonna get some pre-releases for Java Edition in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. And basically, everyone in the Minecraft community is expecting 1.17 to release very, very soon. Pretty much everyone is preparing their worlds and their series to reset for the Caves and Cliffs update. And another thing that really makes me think that 1.17 is on its way is the fact that the bundles and candles just got canceled and delayed from Java 1.17, so those are now going to be 1.18 features. Now, candles and bundles have not even been mentioned for Bedrock Edition, so I think Mojang didn't have enough time to make those features for Bedrock Edition, and thus just delayed them to 1.18 entirely for both platforms. And that makes me think that they are getting even closer to a release, so stay tuned for the update dropping in the next month or two. So what exactly is an aquifer of lava? Well, it's basically a big old poodle of lava, and it's great. So if we go down over here, you can see that we got a lovely cave system, and you can see that we have an absolutely massive and beautiful lava lake over here as well. And it's got all these pillars going up and going through it. It's beautiful. Of course, everything below Y0 is still generating out of stone, so we should have the actual, variety of blocks down here, but that doesn't take away from how cool this looks. I really like these, actually. These are really massive and huge, and this is pretty much the reason why you should not dig down. If you're digging down from above, yeah, you're just gonna see that. It's gonna be like you're in the nether. So I've explored around this world a whole bunch, and that is the only aquifer I've found, so they're a little bit hard to find and maybe a little bit rare, and that's probably a good thing. You don't really want this amount of lava absolutely everywhere in your world, because then your world is basically just going to be the nether. Now, this lava aquifer is only about 5 or 6 blocks deep, and as you can see, it actually goes down to the bedrock of the world at Y-60, so pretty cool things. And honestly, this one is actually rather huge. As you can see, it spans about 100, maybe 150 blocks or so, because it even goes off over here as well. So really, really nice. I think this is a great addition to the Caves and Cliffs update. So yeah, so fully AFK and playerless tree farms are now a possibility in Bedrock Edition and on Java. So of course, whenever you bone meal a standard moss block, that has the possibility to spread around it, and then of course you can get the flowering azalea and the regular azalea. In previous betas, these things would not grow into trees when placed on moss, but that is now fixed. We can grow that into a good old tree. So this is what the core of a azalea tree farm might look like. You would have a couple of dispensers here to bone meal the moss. You wouldn't really ever waste any bone meal unless you're turning the 1 tall grass into the 2 tall grass, and then occasionally you would break everything on these 2 blocks to, kind of reset the system and try and get yourself some azalea. It doesn't appear that you really get that much azalea from these things, so it might not be that efficient, but it is fully AFK. So we have 2 main changes to the Axolotl. First of all, they will no longer attack and try to kill invisible mobs. So as you can see, we got 2 squids tied up on some leads right here, and the Axolotls are not going after them, which is a good thing. And then we also have a bug fix for the Axolotls as well. So anytime you breed up 2 Axolotls and pick up the baby in a bucket, the baby will not be automatically turned into a blue one. So if we pick up this dude in a bucket, which I can't do unless he goes in the water. Go in there. Anyway, as you can see, we are picking him up and placing him down, and he is still the same color Axolotl, so that is a good thing. And in previous betas, it would instantly turn into a blue one anytime you place down a baby, which was a pretty easy way to get the blue rare versions. Also, you may have noticed there's another bug with this. If we try and pick this guy up, then he'll instantly get picked up and placed back down. like instantly. I'm only clicking once. It's kind of annoying. We've also had some changes to the Amethyst Geodes. They will now generate a little bit less often in the world, so now they are a little bit more rare, but flying around the ocean or just boating around in general is still a pretty good way of finding these things. As you can see, they're still fairly obvious and still a pretty straightforward thing to find, but now you're going to be finding ever so slightly less of them. Yeah, caving for these things is way overrated. Just go above the oceans. There's one right there. There's another one over there that I just showed you. There's one right there. And then there's another one to the right of that as well. So there's 4 of them just sticking up through the bottom of the ocean within, like, you know, a 200 block area. This is going to be so easy to find in survival. Get yourself some night vision, boat around, or fly around if you're Elytra. It's seriously going to be great. There's been a couple of bug fixes with the glow squids as well, so now they will properly despawn. So if we go ahead and just fly about 40 blocks away from them, then they'll both go ahead and disappear, which is a fantastic change. These guys won't be taking up the mob cap anymore. As you can see, they have both now despawned. And also, if we go ahead and pick block these guys in creative mode, then we will now get the proper spawn egg, whereas previously we would get a broken, unusable spawn egg. There's also been a small update to the lightning rod as well. Whenever a lightning bolt strikes a rod, it no longer has a chance to summon a skeleton horse trap, which means that skeleton horse trap farms are just a little bit more tedious now and a little bit less convenient. There's also been a couple of small updates to the powdered snow. Things like fences, walls, glass panes, and iron rods will no longer connect to these, as you can see. They've added the proper sound for skeletons converting into strays inside of powdered snow. And as you can see, it's kind of a cool frosty sound. I actually do like that. That's my first time hearing it. Very cool. We have a small change to the bees. They will no longer acquire honey from the berry bushes because, of course, they take damage from being inside the berry bush. So if you happen to be using these inside of your bee farm for some reason, then you'll need to swap these out for literally any other flower in the game that doesn't kill your bees. A really, really nice bug fix for you mobile crafters. Instead of having to craft just a single item at a time, like if you were making literally anything in the game, you would previously have to make it one item at a time, but now you can simply hold down that craft button and it will rapidly craft a bunch of those up to 1 stack. So this is a super good thing. I know a lot of you mobile players have been really annoyed by this for a long time, and rightfully so. Crafting things 1 item at a time is an absolute pain in the butt. I don't know how you guys put up with that, but now you no longer need to put up with that as of the 1.17 update. Yay, rejoice. That's a very good bug fix. A very interesting and strange bug has also been fixed in this beta as well. Previously, if you were to take a negative amount of damage, such as like falling, hitting the ground, and then also getting attacked by a mob at the same exact time, that used to give you these golden absorption hearts, which you normally only get from golden apples and the like. It's a very weird and perplexing bug, which has been confusing players for what feels like years at this point, and now it has finally been fixed in this beta. It's a very strange thing, and just one of those quirks of Bedrock Edition that is finally being worked out and resolved. Another good bug fix is that whenever a player would die as they're holding or firing a bow, they would respawn and their arms would still be in the bow firing position, even if they're not holding anything at all. I haven't seen this bug that much recently, however, it has now been officially fixed, which is great. And that's everything of interest in this 0.56 beta. There is a few other things, but they're just honestly kind of boring and not really that important. But if you want to, then of course the changelog is linked down below, so you can read that if you feel like it. But otherwise, that is going to do it for today's episode of Bug Rock of the Week. I hope that you have greatly enjoyed. Of course, if you have, then make sure to leave a like on the video, possibly subscribe so that you don't miss future episodes. And otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thanks again for watching, and then there was silence.